Last man on the bench. Welcome to our first ever episode here. My name is Zach Selwyn, and we are coming live on February 22nd, the 20-year anniversary of the premiere of the television show that changed my life in sports broadcasting, ESPN Dream Job. Today, there's all kinds of social media posts going on. The winner, Mike Hall, still working at the Big Ten Network. A bunch of other people reaching out, posting stuff. Rest in peace, Stuart Scott. He was the best. This was the clip right here. Check out my top 10 highlights from SportsCenter. That kind of broke me on that show and got me some respect from the big guys over there at ESPN, like Tony Kornheiser and folks like that. Check this out.
Musician from Los Angeles, California, Zacharias Selwyn.
This is the greatest show on television, and why wouldn't I want to be on the greatest show on television?
We're about to meet a guy whose favorite movie is Grease 2. Welcome back to ESPN's Dream Job, everybody. I'm Stuart Scott. The My SportsCenter competition tonight is top 10 plays. Each competitor will be judged on their writing, delivery, sports knowledge, and creativity. Zacharias Selwyn, your SportsCenter begins in 3, 2, 1.
And then there were 10. Your top plays of the night range from Stroh Mile to 8 Mile Road in Detroit to a shot from about a mile out in Indiana. You will witness saves, falls, and some nifty passing that goes behind the back more than an Enron executive. We begin on the ice. Edmonton Oilers, Detroit Red Wings. You don't shoot against Tommy Salo. Watch the save right there. That is salivating. Number 9, here's the only hat trick you'll see tonight. A couple Cowboys going down in a dual slalom race. There ain't no horseback round in Amarillo. We ski. Yeah, nice ball. Meanwhile, Wild Devils. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. Martin Brodeur with a stop. Game ends in a 4-4 tie. From the ice to the nice. Number 7, Jason Williams behind the back. James Posey misses it but follows it in. Take another look at that. Williams, no look. Every point guard needs a wing dog. Posey puts it in. Grizzlies win 109-92. Number 6, Al, not LeVar Harrington. It's so good. It's so good. What's it his the net? It's just so good. Not going to be enough, though. The Pacers lose this one 89-75. Despite that half-court chuck, the Pacers shot a season-low 33% from the floor, including going 4 of 22 from three-point range. Baron Davis remained hot for the Hornets, however, putting up 19 points and 80 cents, meaning 8 dimes. Now, Hornets, they make honey. Put a little honey on my toast, hold the bacon, scramble the eggs, because your top 5 highlights are all syrupy. We go from hot shooting to hot cakes. Yes, it's the international pancake race in Olney, England, where defending champ Sherry Beavis wins the race and then falls down. Nice run, Beavis. Number 4, speaking of tasty, Tracy. Oh, come on, Sandy. Bring it out one more time. T-Mac Adociousness with a rim rocker. Now to soccer, where we don't know the voodoo that he do. Yes, that's his name for the Arsenal, putting the round ball in the corner of the net. Arsenal win this one 3-2 against Celta. Number 2, once again, it's Swift. Stromile Swift with the jam. Tries to get a piggyback ride from Nowitzki. Not really liking that. And your number 1 play of the evening, Dwayne Wade.
Oh, what a move by Wade. Oh, a crossover that could have broken an ankle.
Last time America saw a crossover like that was when Kid Rock went country. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade is slowly proving to the NBA that LeBron and Carmelo aren't the only 2 rookies making an impact this season. Wade had over 30 for the 3rd time this year, and the Heat turned off the Jazz 97-85. Turn up your radio. There's your SportsCenter top 10.
Zacharias Selwyn. Kid Rock and country? No.
That's what's up. There you go. Hey, I had hair back then. I mean, I got some scraggly hair left, but I looked like I was in like Bachman Turner Overdrive back then. That's probably why I didn't win. You know, I don't know if you know this, but back in the day in the sports broadcast world, no one really wanted a dude who looks like they're going to go rob a train after doing the highlights for the evening. And that's kind of what I was going for. But nowadays, I don't know if you watch sports, you know, on TV like we all do, but you got your sleeveless dudes, McAfee. You got Richard Sherman with braids down his back. I mean, back then I had like a beard and a little curly hair, and they were, you know, telling me to go shave my head and get my khakis on to fit in with the model there. But, you know, I was an outlaw, dude. Sports outlaw. I was the last man on the bench. That's what you're listening to. Welcome. This podcast is going to spit truth and facts and comedy and music and fun all about sports. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to talk about. And I'm happy you're along for the ride. I've had a very insane, diverse career in the last 20 years, but sports has been a constant. And there's a lot going on. That's why I love sports. We can keep talking. So today we're going to get into a few different facts. We got a little rundown of the things we're going to go through. We have new Major League Baseball uniforms that Nike and Fanatics just released. Those are getting a terrible rap. I don't know if you've been looking at social media today, but you can see a guy's ball bag through the pants. Did you see that post? That's a real post. I'll put it up on the screen in a minute. We got that to talk about. The numbers are uneven. We're going to get into that. Shohei Ohtani even had a pretty embarrassing photo in the new pants. We're going to talk about NBA's second half. Who's my MVP in the second half? I went on the record beginning of the year saying I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a shot at the MVP, and I still think he does. Obviously, Embiid will not be winning based on his injury. Jokic is obviously still in the mix, too. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the scoring in the NBA. The first half of the season, we saw multiple 70-point games. It's just the lack of defense and the reliance on the three ball. And we're talking about how far or how long before we see, and I think we will in the next year or two, a 100-point game. I don't know who's going to give it to us, but we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Jake from State Farm and how lucky that guy is for having the commercial campaign of a lifetime and sitting on the sidelines at the All-Star break. And my question to all media out there, what happened to the white Jake from State Farm who was on before the new Jake? Where's that guy? That poor guy? He can't get a call back on a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. And then finally, we're going to talk about what is happening, some bad athlete endorsements. But I do want to start with the MLB uniforms, guys. Nike and Fanatics teamed up to release these new uniforms. And I don't know why we have to have new uniforms every year, but I guess it's a money grab. I mean, nowadays you even have a patch on the side of the Yankees jersey, which is sacrilegious to many New York fans, and myself included. Every team's got a sponsor. They're starting to look like NASCAR drivers, But now we have the Fanatics and Nike collaboration uniform, and it's getting a terrible review from all players involved. And it started with a gentleman, number 10 on the, I want to say the Mariners. Let's see if I can figure that out. Number 10, what the hell team was he on? Let's just take a look at this. Chicago Cubs infielder Dansby Swanson, great player. He said to The Athletic, "What kind of blue is this? This isn't Cubby blue." Right? And the Cubs have a significant, people recognize Cubby blue. He's like, this isn't Cubby blue. What is this shit? So we just are done with that? How do we recapture that? And then this guy sends a copy of his jersey in to Fanatics' website, and he says, this is number 10. He goes, look at this jersey. It's all effed up. The 1 is like significantly lower than the 0 or higher than the 0. Completely ridiculous. The letters of his name they look like a Little League jersey. And Fanatics responds on their website, "Oh, looks like we dropped the ball on that one. Send us we'll send you a replacement." This guy's like, replacement? I'm in the fucking major leagues, dude. I'm not a kid who bought this on, big5.com. I'm in the goddamn major leagues. I mean, this is a travesty. So that was the beginning of the uniform drama. And then last night, 2 pictures dropped. First of all, the Shohei Ohtani. Take a look at this photo here. We'll get it up for you. It looks like Shohei is wearing assless chaps. You can see through the pants. These things are flimsy. They're barely there. And it's just an absolute travesty for all these guys. And I feel bad because, you're a Major League Baseball player. This is where you go. This is your dream come true. And you're basically, Shohei looks like he's wearing a diaper. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This guy's the most feared player we've had in baseball, the most respected player, the best player we've had in decades. And they're putting him in like the David Lee Roth chaps from the, Diver Down tour. It's a Van Halen reference, by the way. And then this other thing that comes out, I don't even know who this player is. He's on the Giants. He's got a little mustache, sweet little dick broom. But we'll put this one up too. But you can see his nuts through the pants. So this is the new MLB. 2 balls, no strikes. No one's made that joke yet. I don't know. I hope that Nike and Fanatics figure it out. The Shohei one, it honestly looks like he has hot pants on underneath his leggings. You can see straight through it. We'll put something up on social media too for you to check out. But, good luck to Nike. Good luck to the Fanatics for figuring that one out. The colors are off. It's interesting with jerseys too, because the worst thing that can happen with jerseys is that you buy a guy who gets traded. And I like that some of these companies are starting to say, hey, you know what? If your guy gets traded within like 2 years of you buying his jersey, we'll exchange it for like a newer player. That's cool, because I have a lot of jerseys of dudes who are no longer on that team. I love basketball jerseys. I love baseball jerseys. I think maybe that was a good way for other jerseys to companies to figure that out. I don't know how Nike saves themselves from this thing. I don't need to see the ball bag of a Giants infielder, when I'm watching baseball this year. But, hey, spring training is in the air. People are out there. They're doing their thing. And there's your baseball moment for the day. I was going to talk about, maybe I'll say this till next week, they're talking about expanding Major League Baseball, and they're talking about the teams that have a chance to get a new franchise. And a couple teams were shocking to me. One was Austin, Texas, and the other one that was shocking was Portland, the fentanyl and trank capital of the western United States. Nothing against Portland. I love that city. I don't know how baseball survives there, but hey, they love their basketball. But we'll get into that next week when there's more news about it. Next up, I do want to talk about the MVP this year, because look, it's been sort of a 5 to 6 guy race. The odds are all in Jokic's favor again. But look, I mean, Embiid was a front runner until he got hurt. Luka is having an incredible season. My early season prediction, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he's definitely going to win an MVP eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this year. But I'll tell you, OKC is a real team. They're a real squad, man. And I think they're in first or second right now. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is my favorite player in the NBA, hands down. He's just so shifty, so smooth, and he's in the mix. Jalen Brunson's name's been kind of popping up. I don't know if Brunson's. I guess it's hard to give Brunson an MVP nod right now. If the Knicks continue to play the way they're playing, he could bring a trophy into the Garden. That would be sick. We'll see what happens there. But again, look, it's Jokic's to lose. It really is. He's just having that kind of year again. His numbers are right up there, and it's not exactly a surprise. The guy is reliable. He's so just consistent and a constant triple-double threat. But I think Jokic is pretty much the bet right now. Then you got to go with Shai and also Luka, Giannis. Of course, then Tatum, even Kawhi Leonard's in the mix a little bit. But if you want to make money in Vegas, go put money on Donovan Mitchell, because I think he's at a plus 12,500 right now to win the MVP. But I'm going with Jokic or Shai, unless Luka averages 52 points a game for the rest of the season, which he very well could. We'll see. But people don't like seeing the repeats. Bird won 3 times. Everyone was like, yeah, Larry Bird's going to win again. If Jokic wins again, do people care? People are probably sick of seeing the same guy get a trophy. That's why certain people win MVPs certain years. But I think he takes it home again. Right now, we got a whole half of basketball to go, my friends. So hang on to that thought. I still hope Shai wins, just so my early prediction looks fucking awesome. But you never know. What else is going on in the NBA? The scoring is out of hand. The lack of defense is out of hand. In the NBA, it's ridiculous. I mean, first half of the season, we saw Karl Anthony Towns, 60-something piece. Luka, 73. Embiid had 70 or 60. I should have fucking looked this up. But there was a game when I think Wembanyama was playing and he lost, and he had 33 and 8. Very impressive. And didn't even get like any credit because the guys he played against someone scored 70. It might have been the game Embiid played. But Wembanyama put up 33 and 8. Luka had 73. Embiid had 70. That was it. He played against Embiid. That night he had 70. And he had 33 and 8 for a rookie? I mean, look, we know that dude is 7'5" and a freak of nature and a gorgeous basketball player. But you can't just bury the lead on that, you know? So what's going on with the scoring in the NBA? I mean, Booker 62. Towns had 62. Curry had 60. I mean, we have 6 over 60-point games for individuals this year, all from different players. And it's not going to stop. So what I'm saying is, what can be done to curb this onslaught of offense? Nothing? Or can the defenses step it up? Are people just becoming better shooters? The 3-ball is so reliable. Last night, Grinnell College, NCAA game, they shot 120 threes or something. They made 40 of them. They did not take one 2-point shot the whole game. Grinnell, they hit 40 threes. So that's 120 points, and they won. There were moments where guys were grabbing rebounds under the hoop. You know, quick putback. No, kick it back out to the corner for a 3. That's where we're going, people. The game done changed. Grinnell College. Yeah, I think it was the first game ever where there was not one 2-point attempt in the entire game. I felt like I was watching my kids' like junior Clippers YMCA games, because people on fast breaks, they pull up for threes now. It's just not the basketball I was taught. That's why I like Shai Gilgeous and Jokic, because they're mid-range dudes. You know, they can bomb threes, but they like that mid-range. I like the mid-range. Bring back the mid-range or become Grinnell College. So anyway, my prediction out of all this scoring and this lack of defense is that we are going to see a 100-point game at some point in the next year or two. My money, and this is a good prop bet. If you could get this bet down, who's going to be that guy to match Wilt Chamberlain? I think Luka's in there. I think someone like, you know, maybe Embiid when he comes back. Giannis could always put up a big, you know, I don't even know what they're going to call it, a triple single, 100 points. But if someone's scoring 73, Kobe had 81. I mean, someone's going to score 100. We will see it. We'll see it in the next couple of years. February 22nd, 2024. That's my prediction right there. So either bring back the defense or expect a 100-point game. They're going to call it like a Benjamin or something stupid like that. He put up a Benjamin. That's not bad. He put up a C note. I'll work on it. I'll work on my next. When ESPN calls me back, I'll have a good term for that. Man, ESPN, yeah, the dream job stuff we were talking a little bit about earlier. That was a long time ago, but there were 2 catchphrases that I came up with that Stuart Scott enjoyed. And one of them was the word bucket. And I'm going to go on record and say I think I was one of the first people to say the word bucket on television in the last 20 years, because it became, I don't know if you're aware of this, but bucket has only been sort of a vernacular that's re-entered basketball in the last like 10 years or so. No one was saying buckets. People now, it's like steady buckets. I get buckets. He's a walking bucket. Oh, that dude's a bucket. No one was saying that in 2004 when I was on ESPN. And I used to say when we would play pickup with my boys, if someone hit a shot, I would just go bucket. So when I was auditioning for Dream Job, there's tapes out there of me going, who was in the league? Like Quentin Richardson for 3, bucket. That was my catchphrase. And Stuart Scott was like, I like that one. I might want to use that. And I was like, Stu, you got it. I love Stuart Scott, man. What a great guy. Changed my life. The other one he liked was, I used to call assists, which everyone called dimes. Like Dwayne Wade, I think, if he had 8 assists, I said he had 80 cents. It's not that original, but Stuart Scott liked that one too. And he actually used that one on SportsCenter. There's a great quote from about 2004 where he says, Carmelo Anthony with 70 cents. I got to thank my man Zachariah Selwyn for that one. It's a dream come true when your name's on SportsCenter, man. You know, that's something not a lot of kids get to experience. So thank you, Dream Job. Although nowadays kids don't give a shit. I have a sports-obsessed son. He doesn't watch ESPN, you know, doesn't watch any of that shit. It's all overtime and, you know, Barstool and the big boys, which I respect. But hey, ESPN was the GOAT back in the day. Moving on here, guys. I got a lot of shit to do today, man. I got to start, you know, picking up kids and shit in a little bit. We're going to talk about this. We are going to talk about this. Listen, Jake from State Farm. I'm going to go on record and say that is the luckiest actor in the history of commercial acting. Now, I've been an actor for 25 years in this town. I've auditioned for 1 million commercials. I've had Super Bowl commercials come out. I've been on campaigns for AT&T. I've done a lot of commercials. I've worked with the NBA on some commercials. I did stuff with Nowitzki and Tim Duncan and Devin Brown and Devin Harris and, Juwan Howard. That was a great campaign. But this guy, Jake from State Farm. Now, I don't know what happened to the original Jake, but do you guys remember there was a white Jake from State Farm for years. The dude was the dude. Like, he was the State Farm guy. And white Jake from State Farm one day, like after filming a Chris Paul commercial, was informed, it's all over for you, bud. Sorry. We're replacing you with a black Jake. And I love the actor they got for Jake now from State Farm. He's a fucking great actor. He's a great Jake from State Farm. So I just feel bad for the white Jake from State Farm. What happened to that dude? Is he like auditioning for a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial somewhere? I bet he is. And I bet he's dreaming of a callback like all of us actors. Meanwhile, the new Jake from State Farm is sitting courtside at the dunk contest. He's at the All-Star games. He's a cultural icon. He's like Flo from Progressive. Could you imagine if they replaced Flo from Progressive with like an Asian Flo from Progressive? People would go fucking crazy. People love Flo from Progressive, dude. White Jake from State Farm, they're like, he's expendable. That poor guy. He was probably making $1 million to 1.5 a year as the State Farm guy. And I bet that's what the new Jake is making. I bet he's making more because that dude could cut a record and probably go platinum. That guy's at major NBA events. He is the dude. That is the luckiest actor of all time. If someone can figure out his name and send it to me, I'm sure he's done other stuff back in the day. He's not really a State Farm employee. I hate to tell you this. He probably went to like Yale Drama School. He's a talented dude, but it's also a lucky guy, man. You know what I want to see with the State Farm commercials? I want to see like a State Farm multiverse, like with like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and shit. You remember that Spider-Man where like the 3 different Spider-Man actors showed up? Tobey Maguire and what's his fuck? I don't know any of these guys anymore. Tom something and the other guy, Garfield. They all showed up in like a weird scene and it was all these multiverses coming together and there were 3 different Spider-Men from the different movies looking at each other. We got to do that with Jake from State Farm. Bring me like an Asian Jake, a black Jake, the white Jake. I want like an Indian Jake. I want all the Jakes. I want a Jewish Jake. I want a trans non-binary Jake. I want a they Jake. I want all the Jakes together in one room. And they'll like figure out who's going to bundle home and auto better. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Anyway, Jake from State Farm, if you're listening or watching the podcast, we'd love to have you on anytime, my dude. Last man on the bench, Zach Selwyn, come hang with me. We'll kick it. We'll talk commercials. Man, the luckiest guy ever. Last commercial I did was a William H. Macy whiskey commercial. I played bass in his band. And we did a song. And it was good. You know. It was cool. But it wasn't NBA sidelines cool. I got to meet William H. Macy. Holy shit. Fargo. What's the show he was on for 25 years that just ended? God, I love that show. What the fuck's that show called? With the beautiful girl in it. And the kid from The Bear was on it. Shameless. William H. Macy, Shameless. Goddamn genius. I'd rather meet Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's why this is the last man on the bench and not the last man talking about Hollywood. Anyway, let's move on. Why is this happening? Why is this happening, folks? I caught this yesterday. This was an incredible ad. Now, everyone knows NBA players, NIL deals are out there. Baseball players are getting commercials all over the joint. You know, Patrick Mahomes is eating Subway, as you should. Athletes get endorsements. But this one's crazy. Zenni Optical, right? Zenni Optical, which is a very cheap alternative prescription glasses company, okay? They have a deal with Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell, the coach, the assistant coach on the Celtics, the former point guard for the Rockets, the guy who looks like an alien. He's not an attractive man by standards of American or whatever attraction is, but he's got a Zenni Optical deal. There's like, shop the Cassell collection. Sam Cassell for Zenni Optical. I'm like, that's your guy? That's who you went with? I mean, you couldn't get like Lowry Markkanen or something? Like, there's plenty of great current NBA players out there who kids are looking up to who would probably gladly take a Zenni Optical endorsement. I know Shaq, dude, that guy he won't say no to anything. That guy will be a Zenni Optical guy. But Sam Cassell, hell of a player, hell of a coach. What? Why is he the Zenni Optical guy? It's interesting. I think, it's hard to sell glasses these days, obviously. So you got to go with a guy who exudes a winning attitude, positivity. Sam Cassell. I don't know. Sam Cassell has not played in the league since about 2001, I'm guessing. I think he's a little older than me. He might be 10 years older than me. I'm in my mid to late 40s. And, man, I'm not buying Zenni Optical because Sam Cassell is the spokesman. I will buy a pair of glasses because they're like $10 on Zenni Optical, although they get you. That's the thing about these glasses places. They start off, here's a pair of glasses, $9.99. Then a second later, like, but if you want to block the harmful rays of the sun, you got to add this lens for $36. And then if you want the scratch resistant, that's another $9. And shipping, of course, is $12. Next thing you know, you just should have bought a $100 pair at your optometrist or Costco or whatever the hell you get your glasses. But hey, if Sam Cassell is able to sell glasses, then maybe there's a chance for us, guys. Last man on the bench, Zachariah Selwyn. Man, a.k.a. the sports outlaw. I tried to coin that. That's taken, unfortunately. But, hey, we're just getting started here, man. Cloud 10 Productions, last man on the bench. I got one more thing I want to talk about tonight. And look, it's been a lot of fun just sitting down and riffing for a minute. But basically, I was going to get into the other bad athlete endorsement I saw this week, which was Aaron Rodgers' comfortable dress shoe endorsement. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. Take a look at that if you get a chance. But this is interesting. This is my dumb hobby. I'm still collecting sports cards, people. Basketball cards, baseball cards. Got back into it over the pandemic. I have a very good friend who explained to me how it all works, the judging, the condition of the card, and I brought my entire collection of glory, thinking I had $1 million I was sitting on. I got Dickerson rookies, Marino rookies, Elway rookies, Lawrence Taylor rookies. I got, every baseball card you could want from 1972 to 90. Griffey's, Mattingly, whatever. Everything that was really valuable when we were younger. Mike Schmidt rookies. I quickly realized all my shit's in terrible shape, and then it's not going to get a good grading on the PSA grade. So if you are aware of how that works, basically, cards need to be in mint condition. Get a 10 for perfection. You can flip it and sell it for thousands and thousands of dollars. If it's at a 9, it's like a used car. It drops off from a sticker price of $50,000 to $19K. That's a hell of a drop. So I had a lot of cards that I thought were going to be worth like $15,000, like my Marinos. And I got them graded, and they were like 6s, PSA 7s. So they're $30 to $45. At this point, I'm like, why even sell them? I'll just keep handing them down to my kids. But, I basically wanted to own a few different cards in my life. And, of course, the Holy Grails are the Mantle rookie, the Jordan rookie. And if you don't collect cards, I understand, but here's just a little riff for you. Those are unaffordable, those cards. I know a couple guys with those cards, old friends who have incredible Instagram accounts who have continued collecting, but I took too big of a break, and I got in when it was super popular. And I still buy raw. So one of the cards I loved, and this is why we're talking about this, is the dumb basketball card purchase of the month. But one of my favorite ever cards is this Fleer 0304 Tradition Trio Rookie card featuring LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade. Now, by all means, this should be the most valuable card ever made. You have 3 Hall of Famers on a rookie card. This is the equivalent of the Bird Magic Dr. J card that came out in the 80s. But this is in 2003. I always wanted this card. I could never get it. It's in great shape online on great shape. It's insane. Let's take a look at what this thing is actually going for. PSA 10. That would be perfect condition right now. Trio rookie LeBron Wade Melo. Okay. In mint condition, this card I'm holding right here is going for, look at this. Look at this. Oh, that's PSA. All right. So look, this is anywhere from a 400. That's a PSA 9 at 400. A PSA 10, I don't see on here. But if it's at 400, you can pretty much think this is going to be maybe $1,000 card. I'm going to guess. Let me put this in here real quick. PSA 10. Boom. Wow. 17.9. Jesus fuck. All right, here's a PSA 10 for $1,800. Here's another one for $2,400. Here's one for $8,000. Okay. With 12 watchers on it. That means people are like thinking of buying it. Here's a PSA 10 at $2,400, and there's one at $1,800. I don't know why you wouldn't buy the $1,800 one over the $23 or the $8,000 one. But whatever the case, here's my dumb thing that I bought. I went into a card shop, and I saw the card. And I was like, holy shit. That card is a dream card of mine. There's one problem with this card, and I'll do a close-ups and put it on the board here. There is a crease in the middle of it going across LeBron's face. It slashes Melo's chest in half and eventually just cuts right through Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat jersey. It looks like someone rolled a fucking joint with this thing. And I bought it because it's miscut a little bit. This is a PSA 1. Let's be honest, okay? I could sell this for maybe $8. But I bought it for $50. I spent $50 cash on it because I was like, fuck it. One day, and someone please hope this happens for me. One day, a PSA 1 LeBron, Melo, Anthony rookie is going to go for like a couple grand. The same way a Mickey Mantle rookie PSA 1 or 2 goes for a couple grand. It's called a bicycle spoke card. It's a card that very few people kept in great condition. If there's any left in the world in 2060, maybe this thing will be worth something. But until then, this is my dumb basketball card purchase of the week. Look at that crease. I mean, someone rolled a fucking doobie with this thing. And, I ended up in a shoebox somewhere, and this guy bought it and flipped it to me for $50 and probably laughed as he walked out with my cash. There you go. That is my dumb sports card purchase of the week. And my friends, this has been fun. Last man on the bench. My name is Zachariah Selwyn, and we'll be back every week with more, random talks, countdowns. Follow me on Instagram at Zach Selwyn. On TikTok, I'm at Rodeo Zach. And a lot of this shit I'm doing is not sports related yet online, but we're going to get there. So we're just getting started. So get in on the ground floor. Join me on the bench. And let's ride, guys. We'll see you down the road.